everyone, welcome to another colouring picture from this lovely page from Agotapop. We did the heart one yesterday. Obviously normally it makes sense to work through the page, but this one I did because it was Valentine's Day, so it seemed nice to do a little heart one. I'm going to actually do this one today. Now this is as I come in you'll be able to see, a little stack of macarons. Now I think it's really cute, which is why I picked it. Obviously they all are, it's just one I thought I would do. Now I've got my Pasteltint pencils which I'm going to use on these today. I just feel that a nice really light pastel colour will suit. I can't remember what we used yesterday. We used Holbein, didn't we? So these are the Castle Arts, and this is the Snow Waffle is the first colour I'm going to use for the top one. It's really pale. It might be a little bit too pale. I'm just going to work it on and see how it looks really. We might need to darken it up a little bit. But I know, oh, I need to remind you, that's right, that in the description of the video, as well as lots and lots of info, there will be a discount code for this page. Well, basically the discount code, if you click the link, you go straight to Agata's Etsy page, and it automatically has a 10% discount. So anything that you buy from her page will be discounted by 10% using that link, which has got my special 10% code sort of written into it very cleverly. So that's very cool, I think. So anything of hers that you want, you can get that discount, which I think is very kind of her. Now I've worked that in quite a few layers. It's still quite pale, but I'm rather liking it. So I'm going to not put another colour on top. But I am just now going to have a little think about where it might be darker and lighter, because I think this little line here is sort of indicating maybe a shaping to it. So this is maybe the top and this is maybe the side. Now I'm thinking this side part might be a little bit darker. I'm just going to put a couple of extra layers on. I don't know how much it's really going to show up, but just a few extra layers. Now for this sort of filling, I like it to be slightly darker. That's how I imagine macarons to look. I've only ever eaten them once. I've picked the amaryllis, which I think is just a slightly darker shade. I'm going to use it quite lightly because it is a much darker pencil. I don't want it to really overpower, although I think that's okay. I've only eaten macarons once, and I think this sort of central layer is almost like a sort of jam type thing. Not really, just different cream. No, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's just move on to the next one. Pretend I know what I'm talking about. I don't really. Now there is a shop in my town that sells macarons, and they do them in so many different colours. I'm going to use a heather for the next one. This sort of yellow and greens and all sorts of things. I sort of always think of them being just sort of pinks and purples, but they do them all sorts. As I say, I don't eat them and buy them. I just see this company's posts on Facebook. I'm just going to sharpen this. It's a bit blunt. So it's quite fun just having a look at what they sell. Again, like this one, I'm going to darken this bit under this sort of wavy line just to make it, I think it just makes it look a little different, so you can see that it's supposed to be maybe the edge rather than the top, if that makes sense. There'd also be a little bit of a shadow under here where it's sitting on top. Let's pop a little bit in. Doesn't need to be anything too sophisticated, I don't think. Now Agata has a YouTube channel herself, and she has coloured some of her own illustrations. Her colouring is just phenomenal, so it's good to have a little look there. Not sure if she's done any from this page. This is quite a newish page of hers, but she has a floral page which I've got. I'm going to do a little mini series of some of her florals at some point. Not directly after this one. I'm going to complete this page in a series, I think, and then I shall do something else, and then I'll come back and do some florals, or I might do them as main videos because some of them are quite big. So I'll see. But yeah, because this page has got what's 4x3. It's 12 images. Call my maths on a Monday morning. It's Monday here today. But the floral pages only got 6 on a page, so they're a lot bigger. I just realised I've just started colouring this one. What am I doing? I don't want that to be the same colour as that. Oh dear. Right, we're going to have to colour the whole of this like this, and then put another colour on top. It'll be fine. If we just have to make this look the same underneath, or else the top and bottom will look different. Right. Let's, if you didn't do that, because I was idly chatting and you were like, what's she doing? Don't worry, you don't have to do that. Oh dear. I'm going to use the camellia pink. It's a really bright pink, and I'm sure it'll cover this over, or at least make it look a different colour, which is there. There we go. Now I haven't done the middle of that, I realise that. I'm just covering this up quickly because I'm feeling a bit conscious that I made a mistake. Okay. Right, let's just take it slowly. I'm a little bit anxious today, you can probably tell. My boys, there's a few things on my mind. My boys have got their mocks this week, and although they've got no exams today, they've got a class, they're home this afternoon. My son one of my sons woke up this morning with a cold. He'd had a sore throat over the weekend, he was a bit down. His brother has got the sore throat too. Now he was very sneezy this morning. I was like, oh. You know, I know it happens when you've got exams, and they are only mocks. My sister was saying to me, why are they worried? It's just a mock and all that. And I'm like, I know, but they are sort of perfectionists in a way. They want to do really well. This is hydrangea. They also know they've got a lot of revision ahead of them still this week, so they can't sort of relax and chill. You know, it's daunting for them. So they're feeling a bit stressed, and I think I'm feeling it for them as well. And so that's going on in my head. My husband's got to take them to college on the date when they've got exams. I think I'm going to use the Tickle Pink for the filling on this one. And he is no good at getting up in the morning. Well, he can get up in the morning. This isn't quite the right colour. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something else on top, because we've got that purple underneath. This doesn't look dark enough, so I'm going to use the hydrangea that I used for that one and just put a little bit on top. So he's got to take them to college because the bus isn't that reliable. They said their exams start, they're supposed to be in the room 15 minutes early. If they go on the bus, it might not get them there on time. They're a little bit anxious about that, so they've asked them to give them a lift, which I think is a really sensible idea. Sorry, I'm just wiping my nose. But it means that he has to be up and with it as well, and he isn't that good at he can get up, but he takes a long time to get himself organised in the morning. So that's making me feel a bit anxious. Now I'm going to try something a little bit experimental for this filling. Now often when I see these, I don't know if I'm right, there seem to be little dots of dark and light colour within this sort of filling part, and I'm going to try and do that with a pen. Now, I've got a few pens here. Now these, I don't have many fine liners. I've got some Arteza ones somewhere actually. Maybe I should get those, but these are my Staedtler. And because none of this, not going to match that. I was thinking I put a few dots here and there. I'm going to try. I'm thinking I might just do it with white. I'm feeling a bit not very confident about this idea. So I'm going to use the Gellyroll 10 to put some white dots in here. Now this paper, yeah, I'm happy with that. This paper is not good for pen. it's Bristol board, and I use a lot of pen on it. I used a pen for a background on a page once that I printed, and basically the pen was a water-based like a felt tip pen. It ate up the surface. it sort of dissolved in how wet the pen was, which was pretty gross. I'm going to do a blue ribbon, just picking which blue I wish to use. I think this blue mist is rather nice. I'm going to put a whole layer of blue down first, and then I'm going to think about where I might put some darker and lighter areas. Yeah, yeah, it ate up the surface of the paper, but a few dots I think it could cope with, but more than that, no. So just being a little bit careful with the pens on this paper. If you want to use pens, just photocopy paper, copy paper, that works. It does bleed through, but you know, if you're printing your own, just print them single-sided. I think this is single-sided. Some of them I accidentally printed double-sided because my printer settings weren't set up how I wanted. Right, so I've got a basic layer. Now I think down here at the bottom it's going to be a bit darker, so I'm going to layer that up a little bit more, just adding an extra layer and then gently fading that up the ribbon a bit. Now you could use a non-pastel colour for the ribbon if you want it to stand out. If you want it to look sort of silky and shiny, you might be better off with a darker colour. But I like the idea of keeping it all to pastels. Same with these florals. But I'm going to stick with the pastel tints. Now here I'm going to go around the edge in a darker colour, leave that centre a bit lighter. With our actual bow, we can see here we've got the piece inside. This is going to be darker. I'm going to put down quite a few layers there. And then where we've got the crease, and I think just up here might be a little darker. I usually do this edge a bit darker, but that crease might continue up like that. Just fade it in a bit like that. And then the same on this side, doing this piece here darker. And in that sort of crease, which again I'm sort of going to take all the way up there. Get a little bit dark on the edge, fade it down, bring it up, there we go. Now we've got this piece. I usually do these quite simply, so a little bit darker on the edges compared to the middle. And here as well, I'm thinking that might be a sort of darker bit in there. It's quite hard to make things really dark with the pastels. You can always grab a darker pencil. You know, a grey or something would do that shadow quite well. I'm not a pastel grey, but you know, see one from your castles or some castle arts main set. There we go. I'm happy with how that is. It's quite simple. That's fine. Now we have these two blossoms. I'm thinking about I want to do some slightly different colours. I think we might do a yellow. For this one it looks a little bit like a buttercup. So I'm going to grab the saffron, which is a nice orangey yellow. And what I'm going to try to do is make it a little darker at the bottom of the petals by working a few more layers there, and then less towards the tip. And then the same on this one, like that. Now inside I'm thinking it might be a bit darker. I'm just going to do this one in the same way. Now we've got those little dots there. I quite like those to stand out a little bit, maybe being a bit darker. I don't have a really dark, have the Inca gold, could use that. Could do a white the white Gellyroll if I want to do it white, or I could do a yellow fine liner. I think I'll do the Inca Gold. Let's just stick to the pencils and try it, and if it doesn't look quite right, I need to sharpen it. I can always put a white dot on top if I think, see, but I'm just going to, I'm going to layer it on quite hard. It is a very small area, it takes a bit of concentration, a very sharp pencil. I don't even know if it's going to stand out that much. But there's that, let's just brush off. I think it's going to work. So back to my saffron, and can you see? Yeah. And I sort of think I want that inside to be a little bit darker than the outside. Sometimes that seems to be how it looks with florals. I think in this bit I'm going to do in a green. Now what shade of green? I'm thinking that these greens go quite well. The juniper lime is quite a dark green actually for a pastel set, but I think it's going to work. I need to sharpen it. I've got quite a small space to fill. There we go. Now, but the joy of a download is that you can make them bigger, so, or smaller. I wouldn't want this page to be any smaller, but when you set your printer up, you can ask it to print. That's actually a bud, not a leaf. I'm just going to take my green to here. Well, that's how I think it is anyway. So you could print one page on across 2 sheets, and then you would get bigger images. Okay, so back to the saffron. Whoops, for the little bud. Oh, there we go. It's really hard to read. I don't know if you can even see. I'm going to make it darker near this greenery, so just layering it up over and over, and then a bit less towards the tip. But don't worry if the bud is a bit darker. They very often are. I think it's because they're all clasped together, rather once they open up the light can shine through and make things a little bit paler. Now we have this really pretty flower on this, so we've got a lot going on with this little flower. I'm thinking maybe oranges. We've got yellowy orange there. Blue. Indecision. Okay, I'm going to use the coral blush, which is quite an orangey colour, for the centre. I want the centre to be quite dark, like that. And these tiny ones, I'm going to do the same colour. Okay, and it's quite, I'm making it solid and hard because they're small. Then I'm going to grab a slightly lighter colour. This is the petunia pink. It says it's pink. I think it's orange. And do these slightly bigger ones. And this time I'm going to make them a little darker in the centre and a little lighter towards the edge. It's still, oh, I've missed one there. It's still quite difficult to do because it is still quite a small space. So if you can't, don't worry, just block it in. Just going to grab my coral blush and do that little one that I missed there. There we go. And then these outside petals I'm going to do a little bit lighter, I think. Although, what have I got? Yeah, I think this almond rose would work. Let's have a go. So I'm going to try and put a fair few layers down at the bottom of the petal here, and then a bit less towards the edge. Certainly an imaginary flower. I've never seen one this colour, but then I've never seen one this design. So I did initially think maybe it's a pansy, but not really. But it doesn't matter. It's just we've sort of gone all colourful, which I think is fun. There we go. So I'm just making it lighter towards the end of each petal, really. There we are. I'm going to give that a brush, and I'm just going to get my white pen again, the Gellyroll 10, and I'm just going to add a few dots on the flower in the middle and those two there. I don't think that one needs any. I think that'll do, just those few dots. It seems, I mean, 6 dots. Was it really worth it? I don't know, but there we go. There's our little pile of macarons, looking, yeah, nice pale colours. So that's us for today. Thank you for watching. I haven't done a background on this one. I did do one on that one. I'd sort of run out of colours, to be honest. I don't know what would really match. Maybe a really pale blue. Maybe I should do one. I'm wondering whether this blue daisy would work. Maybe I'll just do a little bit around it. This colour reminds me of the sky blue in a polychromos, but I am going at it very, very lightly. So to do a light colour and to keep it a bit more even, hold it further down the pencil, hold the pencil on its side, and you don't get so much on the page. And you don't have to do a background. It's I wasn't going to, as you gathered, but I just thought maybe I ought to just show you what it might look like so you can decide whether you think it's worth it. It's so pale, I can barely see it. And I always find fading it out to the white, it's quite difficult. What could be easier is to draw a square around it, and then you don't have to fade it. You can take it to the edge of the square. But anyway, done now. You can't see it. But I can just about see it. But it's just a little bit there. But that's me. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow I'll probably do this one. So that'll be fun. But thank you for now, and we might use some different pencils as well. I don't know if I'm going to keep using the same sets or not. I mean, I've used 2 different sets here, so I might just vary it up a bit. But thank you very much for watching. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.